That's scary. I mean, I guess the bigger question is, I mean, were these just ignorant parents that thought they're doing God's work, they're helping somebody rehabilitate themselves, or is there something else going on here? Kind of like what you alluded to, and it's just speculation right now. But it does make you wonder a little bit of, what was why would you do this? Because it seems beyond, if you want to do good, you want to help people out. There's plenty of ways to do that that don't cost any money. There's plenty of ways of involving yourself in volunteer work at shelters, and you name it. Not necessarily bringing like someone like this into your backyard where you have your own children living. Extreme misguided judgment, or was there a benefit here in some way, shape, or form to the parents that lived on the property to have this guy back there?
Well, we're going to see. I think that people of this caliber don't do anything unless it's for some sort of gain.
Mhm.
So I guess you could color me. Uh, I guess what's the right word? You could color me somebody who doesn't always see people in the best light,
Mhm.
probably from my background. But this is a beacon for individuals that I think had this individual on their property because it benefited them. And I think we're going to find out a lot more in terms of the abuse she suffered while she was alive.
What was the deal with him only wearing a towel as he was arrested? And then was it his arraignment, or what was it where he was wearing the towel only? That also seemed extremely bizarre.
He is bizarre, but I do think this is an individual that is affected in large ways with drug usage,
Mhm.
and so oftentimes you see this kind of sort of behavior, when they're coming down, and then when they're just affected, their mind's been severely affected with usage, and I think that's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
So he's a mess in every way,
Mhm.
and I just hope they can prove this case. We've got the rope,
Yeah.
that was used to tie her that was in the back of the truck seen on the truck on the stop, and we have video footage, and I hope that they have everything they need to prosecute him successfully.
The the last stop that should have been preventing this from happening, obviously the parents, and that did not take place. But there is the issue with the loophole in the sex offender registry. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. From what I understand of this, the way it's been explained in the most simplistic way is because he did not succeed, if you will, in what he wanted to do with raping his whoever it was years ago. It was a niece where he tried to get somebody's pants off and minor's pants off in their bed. He got caught. He got charged with it, but because he did not, it didn't come to fruition. He didn't. Again, I'm saying air quotes, succeed in what he was trying to do. That's why he's not on the registry, because it didn't go all the way, if you will, which makes no sense. It kind of feels like the system saying, well, try again. If you failed, if you want to make it to the registry, you got to go the whole way. That to me seems insane. What is this loophole? I mean, is that exactly what it is, and why is it there?
Well, I think that's partially you touched on it, but he still could have been charged with attempted sexual assault, which
Hmm.
actually in that one I think he was with the attempted sexual assault. But he could have also been charged with sexual assault. I mean, whenever you try to pull somebody's pants down, that's pretty
That's
much a
assault.
sexual assault in my
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just a case to me of taking the easy way out in terms of pleading a deal down, and that's why it was acceptable to the defendant. He doesn't have to be on the sex registry.
Hmm.
He got a reduced sentence, and everybody's happy except for his next victim because these
Yeah.
people don't stop.
I mean, how is this where they can plead these things down and then avoid being on a registry? It seems such a stupid thing to do for such a serious crime. Why would we even want to give people like this that sort of a deal?
It should never happen. It's just, Tony, it's one of the many loopholes in our criminal justice system. Look at all the people that are getting out early, that are getting their sentence reduced. It's just amazing. Every day you can see another person released. I just saw a person released that hit a mother and a daughter, going at least 70 to 100 miles an hour,
Yeah.
recklessly driving, and he's out on bond.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And then, obviously the ones that have to do with children and sexual assault, we see it over and over again, and it needs overhauled. Our system needs overhauled.
There needs to be just penalties. Here's the penalty. This is not to be pled down. You're going to be on this list whether you like it or not. Otherwise, there's got to be a gazillion of these people out there who've pled their crimes down that are living amongst us that we have no idea about.
And really, who needs to be held accountable, I believe, are judges.
Hmm.
The judges that make these decisions, and then something terrible like this happens, it needs to go back to them because the buck really does stop with them
Hmm.
in terms of the sentences that the individuals receive for the most part. I know some people might be listening and say, no, wait a minute, there's sentencing guidelines, there's pre-sentence reports, and
Yeah.
and they have to go by that. To a degree, yes, but the bottom line is that it's up to them in terms of probation and a lot of this sentencing.
Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you like the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you don't miss any of our updates on the cases we're following for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast from True Crime Today. And thanks